Have you ever heard someone say, "bless you," after a sneeze and wondered, where did that come from? Well, it actually originated during the bubonic plague, where sneezing was one of the first signs of disease. When you sneezed, people would say, "God bless you," because, like, "Satine, you in danger, girl." That sounds right. Or does it date back to ancient Rome, where people believed that sneezing could expel evil demons from your body? So when someone sneezed, those around them would say, "bless you," as a way to ward off any remaining demons that might be floating around in the air. "Bless you, Maximus, bless you." That sounds right. What? Oh, it's actually the bubonic plague one? Okay, well, that's less fun. Every week, I am joined with a celebrity guest. Together, we'll explore the strange and surprising origins behind everyday expressions and try to figure out which is the real one. I'm your host, Andrew Keenan Bolger, and this is That Sounds Right. I am very thrilled to introduce our guest today, Randy Rainbow. He is a multi-talented comedian, singer, and author, best known for his side-splittingly funny videos that masterfully combine musical parody with political satire. A 4-time Emmy Award nominee for Outstanding Short-Form Variety Series, Randy has also released a Grammy-nominated debut solo album, A Little Brains, A Little Talent, and penned the New York Times best-selling book, Playing With Myself, out on paperback May 31st. And in his free time, he hosts the Randy Rainbow podcast. Keep in mind, folks, we all have the same number of hours in a day as this remarkable talent. Please give a warm welcome to Randy Rainbow.
Hi.
I always just welcome people as though there's a studio audience.
I know. That was missing a thunderous applause.
That was for the radiator, I guess.
Damn.
Randy.
Thank you. What a great intro.
Oh, well, thanks.
I'm very impressed with myself.
Oh, as you should be. This was exhausting to write. I now have carpal tunnel listing your credits.
Sorry. Listen, you're no slouch either, darling.
Already, we met like way back in the early days of YouTube. And
when did we meet now?
I mean, it must have been...
My recollection is that we met for the first time, am I wrong, when we did that reading?
I feel like I met you at a gay bar, if we're being totally
You're probably
honest.
right, and that's why I don't remember it. But, I mean, I met you when I was lucid and, like, in my body.
Yes, but I feel like I had been a huge fan of your work for years on YouTube. I feel like you were one of the first people I really saw on that platform who just really figured out their voice and just knew exactly who you were. Has it always felt that way to you?
I'm inclined to say no, because I'm always like trying to find myself. Nothing ever seems like an easy, but I guess that's true for everybody. So yeah, there was a lot of kind of discovery and exploration and trying to figure out, you know, what is the model for you and what less of this, more of that. I found though that once I kind of just... Can you curse on this podcast?
Yeah, go for it.
Once you just say, fuck all that and just do what you want to do and are just yourself, it's a very cliche, but that's what people end up gravitating toward. So I've tried to always just do what makes me laugh.
Yeah.
And that seemed to work.
I love that. It's like in the specific is the universal somehow.
Yeah, whatever that means.
Yeah.
Don't
Put
laugh.
that on a fortune cookie.
Exactly.
Now, I'm racking my brain. Was there a specific like political or pop culture moment that sparked you to make your first video?
Well, the very first one that went viral-ish was called Randy Rainbow's Dating Mel Gibson.
Oh my gosh, that's
Do you remember
right.
that
Yes.
one?
Was that using his voicemails?
Yes, those awful, like,
oh my God,
homophobic,
Randy.
anti-Semitic, racist phone rants. Those tirades that he left, you know, voicemails for his...
Yes, I totally remember that.
And I walked around my apartment having romantic phone conversations with them.
Oh my God.
And that went like, well, for the day, it was viral.
Yeah.
I think it got like 60,000 views in the first day. And I was like, oh my God, I'm famous.
And when did you start doing musical stuff?
Musical stuff, I mean, from there, long story, read the book, now in paperback.
Great.
But eventually I got a job working for Broadway World.
Oh,
the website.
Yes. Yeah.
And they wanted me to kind of do my commentary and my videos in my style, but, you know, in sort of using the headlines of the Broadway news.
Yeah.
Which ain't easy sometimes. But so I kind of, long story short, I ended up one day, I think, using song parody to talk about the Tonys or something. And then I just kind of, I was also at the same time doing my political stuff on YouTube.
Yeah.
It didn't start political. It started as just sort of whatever the hot topics were,
Right.
entertainment news. It's turned out in 2016, everything became political, not my choice. But so I ended up kind of infusing the Broadway world gimmick of musicals with the more mainstream stuff. And to my delight, it worked.
It turns out like I am sitting squarely in that Venn diagram of like political interest in musical theater.
I mean, I didn't know that there was such a market for it, but people love that format. I'm like, this was just like a means to an end. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but people love their politics with show tunes, it turns out.
I think what is so brilliant about your stuff is I think people actually mistake the fact that someone breaks into song as like, and that's the joke. And like a lot of times on TV, they'll have musical numbers and you're like, this isn't actually funny. They're just singing. And that's like the joke. Your stuff is the intertextual references, the like internal rhyme. That is truly the hysterical part.
Oh, thank you. What a good
it's
compliment.
true. No, it's very true.
Well, you know what? I'm always kind of self-conscious about using parody because, to be honest with you, it was a means to an end. I don't write music, and I just sort of needed, if I did, I guess I would write original songs. But I did, so I rip off other people's. But I also, in doing it, have learned to sort of appreciate the art of parody. And it does. It puts everyone on the same kind of playing field, especially if it's a song that people recognize easily.
Yeah.
And that adds another layer to the whole thing. So, to answer what you just said, I try to overcompensate a little bit and be as clever and creative as I possibly can, and get all those internal rhymes and write as strongly as possible. To compensate for the fact that I don't write shit.
Except for like a million harmonies with yourself somehow.
Harmonies, what I do, I hire music directors I hire vocal arrangers to give me much more. The old days, it was just me and a karaoke track, and I was just faking the harmonies. Now we've boosted the operation a little bit.
Come on. I still, though, I cannot believe how much of this you do on your own. The amount of work that goes into your videos between like writing, filming, and editing. To me, that seems it's Herculean. It's impossible. And then on top of that, you had the time to write a book and host a podcast and record an album. Like, how do you actually do that?
I have no life.
Really,
I have no life. I mean, it's nice. It's nice. I like working. I don't have to tell you. It's nice to have a creative outlet, and that's a big part of my life, and I like it that way. But I also, I woke up the other day and I was like, I have no social life. I am alone, and I probably will be for the rest of time if I don't get my shit together. So I'm here to actually find a boyfriend. Do you have anyone for me?
I do. This actually is a dating podcast. Bring him in, Brianna.
Stop it.
Bring him in.
I knew this was a good decision I made. No, but really, Andrew, I'm not kidding. Now that I'm sitting in front of you, I realize because I tell all my friends, I'm like, I need to be introduced to people.
I'm actually not kidding. I have a notes app with single people on it, and I'm going to add
Well,
you.
That's what Sarah Silverman said to me on my podcast the other day, and I haven't heard from her in a month.
Radio silence from Sarah.
Yeah, but that's okay. She's a busy girl.
I think I might know more gay people than Sarah Silverman.
I'm inclined to believe you. So, Andrew, I want follow-up.
I'm on it.
Okay.
All right. So That Sounds Right is all about storytelling and occasionally telling some lies. Randy, have you ever told or been caught in a lie?
No, never. I'm sure I have. Not recently, because I'm an honorable adult professional person.
Yeah.
But I do. Whenever people ask me that, I think back to my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
And you want me to tell you what the lie was?
I mean, I want to hear it.
It's not really very juicy, but I remember it's kind of funny and very on brand.
Okay.
I remember I stole my mother's high heels once.
Work.
And she couldn't find them, and then asked where they were, and I just hid them for like a month.
Oh my God, that is like the Randy Rainbow origin
Yeah,
story.
I know. Now that I say it,
That is, yeah, probably the beginning of the movie
yeah.
or the musical.
Thank you. The
Yeah.
movie musical.
um. All right. I think let's get to the game. So,
Okay.
just to foreground it, Randy is terrified of this. But
I might leave in the middle
he
of
might
this
leave.
because
So
I don't like improv
you know what?
games.
This was a really good interview, and if this is a 15-minute one, this is a 15-minute one.
Wait, we might just cut here, everybody. If so, it was nice talking to you.
It's been really great. Check out his book at Paperback May
May
31st.
31st. Thank you.
Okay, well, here's the rules of the game. Each of us is going to draw a card with an idiom or a common phrase written on it, along with its origin story. We each get 5 minutes to review the actual origin, make some notes, and then decide if we're going to tell the real story or if we can do one better than history and just make one up. Either way, we have to convince each other that our story is the real one. So we're going to take a short break so we can get to thinking, and when we come back, we'll take turns separating the fact from the funny. All right, Randy, I'm going to kick things off here and tell you the backstory of the common phrase at the drop of a hat.
Okay.
Do you know who Agatha Christie is?
Very well.
Oh, really?
Yes, I just spoke to her before I came.
How's she doing?
She's
How's old
swell.
Aggie doing?
Dear Aggie.
Aunt Aggie?
Yes, obviously the author of all of those fabulous mystery novels
Yeah,
and things.
I want to say she wrote like 70 or something in her lifetime.
Oh my God.
Which, I mean, she's like the R.L. Stein of her day.
That's crazy.
Just like churning out books and like securing the bag.
living.
She, for folks who like might not be totally familiar with her, she just gonna take a little sip of some seltzer.
What's in there?
It's like a nice lemon seltz.
Is it really just a
Yeah.
seltz?
Yeah, it's just champagne.
Champagne makes me drowsy. What's that from?
Champagne
Champagne makes me
makes me-
drowsy.
What is that?
Hello, I'm giving you the title in
A
the
drowsy
quote.
chaperone?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's
That
my
felt too
best Beth
obvious.
level I gave you on this podcast.
So for folks not familiar with Agatha Christie, she wrote titles you're probably familiar with, things like Murder on the Orient Express
Mhm.
or 10 Little Indians.
Yeah.
Basically, she would just like think of a racial slur and start typing.
Fabulous.
She's like, I got it.
That's why she's not working anymore today.
Yeah, she'd never survive this climate.
No.
But also no shade, because as someone who has spent like 3 years working on my most recent book, the fact that she wrote 70 in her lifetime, that is actually truly impressive.
Yeah.
There are clearly no distractions like Pornhub or TikTok back in the Victorian era.
I find that a big problem with my writing. Yeah.
Always gets in the way. And also, honestly, like for a woman writing at that time in, I'm sure, what was a very douchey male dominated publishing field, it is really quite impressive. And so many of her books were then like turned into movies and plays. But perhaps one of her biggest contributions is her turn of phrase that became a part of the American vernacular and the British vernacular. Things like the phrase "at the drop of a hat," which was the title of her 7th book, "At the Drop of a Hat." Now, Randy, do you want to hear about what the book "At the Drop of a Hat" is about?
Yes, I'd love to.
Well, you'll be shocked to learn it is a mystery novel, and it is. It begins with a character named Sir Reginald Hatterley, which I think is like a little too clever by half. Like that to me feels very J.K. Rowling. Like
Yeah.
naming like, oh, that's very clever, like Hatterley.
All right. We
But
get it.
He's a wealthy gentleman, and he's walking down the streets of London when all of a sudden he comes across a troupe of harlequins performing in the street. And harlequins, that's how fancy people say clowns.
Okay.
That they were clowns, and they were performing.
Let's just cut to the chase.
Let's cut to the chase.
go.
These clowns, they're
Highfalutin bullshit.
performing acrobatics. They're like making balloon animals, except like the balloon is like an intestine because it's the Victorian era, probably is what I'm thinking.
Okay.
And Sir Reginald Hatterley is just so impressed by them, but all of a sudden he feels a a smack on the back of his head as he is knocked to the ground and his hat falls onto the concrete. And it is because these are not your everyday clowns. These are robber clowns. They are actually a band of thieves disguised as robbers, and they quickly rob Sir Reginald Hatterley, and they take everything from him except for his hat. And so when he comes to, he wakes up and he starts screaming, "Help me, help me!" And a crowd gathers around him, and he says, "They took everything from me at the drop of a hat." And everyone understands that to mean, oh, at the drop of a hat, something that happens very suddenly or without warning. And so much so that book title is so popular, and that phrase then just becomes synonymous with anything that happens suddenly, anything that happens without warning. And so we can really thank old Aunt Aggie Christie for that one. So, Randy, I see from that sigh, it is now your turn to guess.
Well, I'm guess we're running out of time here. This is going on and on. I don't know if I want to let you continue this ruse.
So that is the origin of the phrase "at the drop of the hat."
Okay.
Now, does that sound right to you, or does that sound like?
Now, do I have a moment to think about
this?
Yes,
yeah. Or even ask me if you want to ask me some follow-ups. I'm ready.
Oh God, follow-ups. What is left to divulge?
I'm a very fast writer. I'm a first draft kind of guy.
Why don't you get the book and read it to me, starting at chapter 1? Okay, wait a minute. I'm trying to think, because at the drop of a hat, that makes sense that it would come from a literary reference.
Yeah,
because it's a specific thing. Because isn't there the drop of a? No, the drop of a. No, you could hear a pin drop.
Yeah,
yeah, but
that's for
at
another
the drop
episode.
of a hat means.
It means it
something
happened fast, yeah.
And where would someone just choose a hat if not someone like Agatha Christie writing about it?
Yeah, writing about a character whose name is annoyingly Sir Reginald Hatterley.
Which I think is a little on the nose, Agatha.
Come on now. She had to write 70 books.
She did.
That was before ChatGPT could do her job.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and say that is accurate.
That sounds right, you think?
That sounds right.
That sounds right. That's incorrect.
Oh
no,
my God,
I totally made that
liar.
up. Yeah,
You're a snake.
I'm a little snake. It actually comes from. It did originate in the 19th century. I did sort of steal that. And it does mean something that happens suddenly, but it was a common practice to signal the beginning of a fight or a race by dropping a hat, like a cowboy hat. They'd drop it on the ground. And they would say at the drop of a hat.
And that was when they would start their
That's when they would start the race.
I like yours better.
I think I like mine better too because one of them forced me to talk about sports, which I sure don't know about.
We would have been lost. We would have had to ask the crew to come back in.
Can we? Yes, no, but us talking about a lady detective.
Yeah.
Honey, I could talk for days.
I loved it. It was very Murder, She Wrote. Yeah.
One of my faves. All right, so we are going to take a break, and when we come back, we will hear from Randy.
It's going to be very short after this break, so you can get ready to do your other things for the day.
Get a very small snack, like a string cheese.
Yeah.
Yes, 3 fruit snacks.
Absolutely. A handful of almonds. Okay, Andrew. I am now going to tell you about the idiom, bite the bullet.
Oh.
Yeah. Meaning... And I can tell you the meaning, right? As if you don't know, but in case any of our listening audience is stupid. It means to decide to do something difficult or unpleasant.
Ooh, gotta bite that bullet.
Bite the bullet and do it.
You just gotta do it.
Like I'm gonna bite the bullet and play this fucking game with you, even though I'm not good at this. But
it's going great.
It's going well so far. See, I'm. This is called filler because I don't want your episode to go short. But here we
gotta
go.
sell some Casper mattresses.
Exactly.
Come on.
Do you have sponsors?
No.
Good. I don't either yet.
Okay. Phew.
I just was gonna be. I was gonna call my producer. Okay. So bite the bullet. This is the most well-known origin.
Oh, okay.
There might be something else, but this is what is.
Gotcha.
People know this is
what
this is the best known.
Wikipedia would say.
Wikipedia research, only the best on this podcast. Prior to anesthetics, during, the old-timey war
Mhm.
times. And I'm thinking about, like picture Gone with the Wind
Oh,
and
yeah.
the scene with the thing in there. They're tying up sorry, I'm making noise. Sorry, we can cut that in post. They're tying up the guy's, I think, leg,
Oh,
and they
yeah,
had
like a
to
little
amputate.
tourniquet situation.
Yes, and Scarlett is having a fucking fit.
She is not having it.
Yeah. So in those old-timey war days, uh, uh basically, before 1846, because that's when anesthetics were really
Oh,
started
yeah,
to be
yeah, yeah.
used, they would actually give the soldiers actual bullets.
What?
Yes, they would stick actual giant bullets in their mouths.
That actually, I just got chills down my body. That like makes my teeth hurt.
Not good for the teeth,
No.
but better than, because the reason was because otherwise they would find it sort of emasculating almost to scream or curse or cry. So they would literally chomp down on bullets to prevent them from screaming during having these procedures done.
Oh my God, that's
Yes.
horrific.
Yes.
Why are they just not like piss drunk?
This part I don't know, but that's always my go-to.
Yeah.
So that's what I would have. That's what I would have done.
Surely there's got to be something more than a bullet out
Yes.
there.
When I go to war, that's what we'll do.
Every time I have gone to war personally and had to,
I like a gimlet.
I like a gimlet. I like a starburst. I don't need a bullet.
What is your drink of choice?
I'm not kidding. It's a gimlet.
Oh, really?
It's a gin gimlet. Yeah.
I've never had a gimlet in my life. But since we were referencing Drowsy Chaperone, they make a gimlet reference in that show that I just remembered.
Gimlet is so easy. It's like just 2 ounces of gin.
Okay.
3/4 ounce of lime. And then like a little half ounce of a little sugar water.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's good. I don't think I've ever had gin.
Ever?
Well, maybe.
Oh, it's
like
making
in a
a
Long
comeback.
Island iced tea. But I'm a vodka girl.
Oh, well, you can make a vodka gimlet too.
Yeah.
Same rest. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, but back to biting a bullet.
Right. So there was it was when they didn't have any booze, when when the bartender was off,
Yeah.
and they couldn't get a gimlet
Old Scarlet
or a good gimlet the right way, they would
bite down.
They would bite down on
a bullet.
actual bullets before like the mid 1800s.
Okay. Are there any like pop culture references perhaps that you may have heard?
There was an album in 2007 by Carl Wolf, who's my favorite.
Can you sing me your favorite Carl Wolf song?
I can sing the song Bite the Bullet if you like.
Hit me.
Bite the bullet, 'cause there's no bartender on tonight. Bite the bullet, wrap that tourniquet and pull it tight. Bite the bullet, told you rhyming.
Honey, this is the Grammy coming through.
Yeah, but I didn't write that. Carl Wolf
Carl
did.
Wolf, of course, Carl Wolf. You're one of our favorite pop divas.
He's on the show next week, isn't he?
Yes, in fact,
he's making the
been booked.
podcast round.
Okay, is there anything else that you could possibly tell me about?
Frankly, I think I have told you too much.
You've told me too much. I am gonna go ahead. This sounds incredibly real to me because I truly can picture a man getting his leg chopped off during the Civil War and being like, "Hey, fellas, is it gay to scream when you're getting your leg amputated?" The answer is yes.
Yeah.
Let's bite that bullet. I'm gonna go with that sounds right.
Well, Andrew, you are correct.
Bam! Oh, amazing. Okay.
Although,
that's pretty good.
why a bullet,
Why a
though?
bullet?
Like,
Honey,
I need a
give me
mouthful.
a pillow.
Give me a pillow.
Hey,
Yeah.
give me a sock.
Yeah. I don't know.
Anything other than a bullet. That seems
not
worse
very
than getting your
resourceful.
leg cut off.
Yeah.
And just like I can picture the teeth breaking like in Looney Tunes.
Yes.
And then they're like, chicka, 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 chicka. Yeah, it's not great.
Terrible.
Okay.
Terrible.
Well,
Thank
I
God.
guess that was we each guessed correctly.
So what do we get now?
This means that we go into sudden death.
Oh my God.
Now for this round, our producer is going to read us an obscure and very strange law, and we each have a buzzer, and the first one to buzz in gets to guess if that sounds right or if she's totally lying. Now, Randy, you have a buzzer sitting next to you.
Yeah.
Would you like to pick it up and press it into the microphone to see the very special Randy Rainbow sound that has been programmed?
I press it now?
Yeah.
Into the microphone.
Yeah.
Gay from my hit song Gay.
From your hit YouTube parody Gay to the tune of Shy.
Thank you.
All right, I also have a buzzer. I almost said a bullet. I have a buzzer right here, and it is.
Oh,
which is from your most recent.
Yes. Oh, I love this show. It's very on the fucking pulse of
really
things.
On the pulse. Yes.
You got your finger on the pulse.
I got my finger on the pulse and on the buzzer. Which,
correct.
Folks, in his recent parody where Randy very hysterically plays the Andrews sisters. This is maybe not like the highlight of it, but it was my personal highlight. It's just a Randy Rainbow 1930s scat.
I love it. Was that actual me from the video?
No, that was just me pretending to be you.
You're doing the
I'm doing
you
the quotes.
You do a good me.
I do a good Randy Rainbow. Okay, so our producer is going to read us, and we each buzz and either guess if that sounds right or that sounds wrong.
Okay.
It is illegal to put ice cream on cherry pie in Kansas. Andrew?
I'm going to go with that sounds wrong. That seems like very standard Kansas to me.
Actually, it's true. You can't do it.
What?
Kansas?
You're kidding.
Get out of here, Kansas. What are they putting on their on their pies?
It's just not ice cream. You
Just
can't
like
do
a
it.
dry
Can't
pie.
wait a minute. Specifically that flavor? Wait, what
Yeah, is it only cherry pie?
It is.
What the hell's going on
Come
here?
on, Kansas. Get out of here. Should we do one more just for funsies?
Of
Yeah.
course.
I'm going to
Okay.
look that up after I leave here. I don't believe that. I'm canceling all my Kansas dates.
All of the dates are done. If I can't have my ice cream on my cherry
Yeah.
pie,
Yeah. Abortion is one thing, but that's an issue. I
that
just
is taking
can't.
it too far.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the next one. It is illegal to read poetry out loud in public places in Louisiana.
Oh, you did it.
I'll give this one to you.
Okay, I'm going to say that is false, and I better be right.
You are so right.
I'm right.
Oh, okay. Well, it looks like you won then, right?
Yes, I did.
Oh my gosh, Randy, you won.
I never
Randy,
won
you
anything.
won. You win a prize.
What do I get?
1 second.
I better be a phone number to one of your friends.
Well, I can't promise that, but this is
Okay.
really. Oh my god, I fully just like tweaked my back region
No,
for this guy. This is the most middle-aged.
Honey, you're not a newsie anymore. We're getting too old to be doing
I'm gonna have my arm in a sling.
Oh God, is this on camera?
Yeah,
That's
is
a
like-
great shot.
That one's for the Patreon. All right, you get to pick a very special greeting card
Okay.
that is geared just towards.
I want this
you.
middle one.
Okay.
And now, do I read it?
Oh, sure, if you would
Okay.
like.
It says, "So happy to hear your surgery's over," and there's a picture of a dog with a cone on it.
Oh.
And then inside it says, "Want you to know that thoughts and wishes are with you until your recovery's complete." That's beautiful.
I feel like you could give that to me for my shoulder.
I feel like going to Louisiana and reading that on the side of this corner street.
Oh my gosh, amazing. Okay, well, Randy, congratulations. You are absolutely the winner. That is all for today's show. Please remember to subscribe, and if you like us, we'd love for you to write us a review. These really help. Big thanks to my guest, Randy Rainbow, who you can find on all of his socials at Randy Rainbow and on YouTube at Randy Rainbow Official and wherever you listen to podcasts, the Randy Rainbow Podcast. Thank you, and join us next week for another episode of Say It With Me, Randy.
That sounds right.